Good morning, everyone, and welcome to. Excuse me. Okay, we're good now. Okay, now I'm good. Sorry, that's not a cough or a cold. That's just, you know. Good morning, everyone. Joey Blaze live from his car once again. Let me adjust the frame for a special edition of Wake and Bake with Joey Blaze. I'm your host. Y'all, you know my name. Anyways, anywho, let us get to the weekend. Beginning 9 a.m. Saturday morning, we'll recap at a Washington County Flag Football League. We'll start with the games that happened on Saturday there. 9 a.m. it was Spartans 21, Ruckus 3. I'm gonna quit doing that. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. No, I feel fine. I think that's from other things, obviously. Spartans 21, Ruckus 3. With the recap there. This was a blowout. Ruckus never was in it at all. Spartans, hottest team in county right now. Behind Showtime. We're looking forward to Wednesday night when we talk about them, because there's a big shuffle in the power rankings. Anyways, 10:30 kickoff. It was Showtime over X Dogs. I think it was 21-7. Low amount of points for Showtime. It's a terrible live. Jesus. You don't call it Wake and Bake for nothing. It's like this is my like D or E show at this point. Let me try to finish the recap and stop fucking going off topic. So we had in the second game, Showtime over X Dogs 21-7. Ross Collins had that game. Just X Dogs once again can't stop anybody, can't score. Same story for them, man. I don't know what to say at this point for the Dogs. We'll get to a recap of that Wednesday night on Washington County Flag Football Live. The third game of the day, it was Showtime over Pure Chaos. I don't have a score for that one. I think it was 29-9 at last check. Showtime with another dominant victory. Good win overall. Showtime, done for the regular season. 8-0, just like that. They are number 1 overall seed in the Washington County Flag Football League playoffs. Coverage of that will begin November 7th. And we'll see who they face. And in the final game of the day, the upset of the day, it was Pure Chaos 20, Warriors 8. Stunning upset. Pure Chaos gets their first win of the franchise. Nobody will go winless this year. Nobody will go without a win. We're going to have a team with a win. Excellent. Pure Chaos, congratulations on the dub, man. That's awesome. Shout out to what that team's been doing all year. Hey, shout out to the combination of RJ and Houston, who have done a great job taking over in relief of Devin. You two are working together well. There's something going on there. On terms of what this Chaos team can do. And I think, we'll see. I think they may score more than one win this season. Next game, that was it for Washington County. So let's go over to the York tournament starting at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. We had Baez Auto over AFN 21-19. In the second games, we had the controversy, Aftermath Baez Auto. So from what I was told about it, the refs made an error and did not and accidentally awarded Aftermath with 2 extra points they didn't have. And because of this controversy, it affected the game a lot. Aftermath originally was the winner 14-13. But Baez claimed that they won 13-12. On film, that was the case. Baez won the game 13-12. This is what I read about it. I was kind of caught off guard a bit by it. Because I didn't really expect it. It was just kind of one of those random things that happened. it was a good game, but a lot of controversy there. Nobody knew what to do from what I gathered. It was kind of one of those something that happens once in a blue moon where the ref just lost track of the score, and because of that, in the fourth quarter, you had one team in the mindset of were winning when they were losing, while the other team had the mindset of were losing while they were winning. It's one of those things. Like, just communication's key. Communication's very key. The other game on the opposite field, I believe, was Renegades over the MD Titans, 13-0. Is that correct, Matthew? Okay. I was wondering about that because like I wasn't sure what the controversy was. That's what I thought I read, and I don't want to like I said I don't like to throw things under the bus like that, but that's just what I was reading. But yeah, that Baez Aftermath game, very controversial. It did set the stage though for an interesting rematch later in the weekend. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up the scores that can't post it. I believe there's somewhere down here somewhere. There it is. Also, we had Renegades 13, Titans nothing. Blackhawks 6, AFN 3. Hey, old school Maffle matchup. Gotta love it. Renegades 20, Primetime 12. Aftermath 20, Blackhawks 0. Titans 15, Primetime nothing. Gusto Land 31, Scorpions 13. It's interesting to think Scorpions entering that game had only given up a total of 24 points in their last 2 games. Or not 2. Their last 9 games. Or I think the stat I read was at OMFFL they had 9 games that allowed 8 points. You combine that with the Wolfpack's performance at Nationals against them. Entering that game with Gusto, the Scorps had allowed only 24 points in 9 games. Gusto dropped 31. Big day for Gusto Land. Yeah, they took Craig Proctor serious on that statement, trust me. Rampage 14, BC Elite 11. Another good game between those two. Always a good one when BC Elite plays Rampage. Scorpions 20, Ravens 0. BC Elite 28, Reckless Villains 14. Gusto Land 20, Ravens 7. And finally, to end Saturday, it was Rampage 28, Reckless Villains 6. And I'm going to use this as a bit of my York wrap-up show. Let's talk about day 2 and the results for each team as we go along, as they were eliminated. One of my neighbors just walked by. Beginning with, and I'm checking the battery on this, 14%, that's going to make it. All right, we're good. Thinking. Okay. 8 a.m. games next morning. Let's go. Field 1. It was Blackhawks 13, Baez 13, Blackhawks 0. Just not really a close game. Baez scored early, and Blackhawks never had a response. Tough weekend for Blackhawks in terms of Sunday. Just couldn't get anything going. They did score one on AFN, but, got throttled by Aftermath and didn't do well against Baez. So 1-2 on the weekend was Blackhawks. Shout out to them, though, man. They always come to ball. The other 8 a.m. game, it was Scorpions 14, AFN 6. AFN 0-3 on the weekend. That's a shocker to think about. 0-3 on the weekend was the affiliates. I don't remember. I can't remember the last tournament they went to where they were 0-3. I want to say it was Charm City last year, but when they were playing in A. But that was a while back, and it was also a different tournament. But it's been a while. Like, usually this is not like them to go 0-3. Not like them at all. Something's going on with the affiliates. Or has the competition got tougher? We'll see. It's hard to be the defending B #1 team. They were the #1 team in the rankings last year in B all year long. Can't hear anything, Eddie? Everybody can hear me. I don't know. Turn the volume up, man. 8 a.m. 9:15 game. So moving on past that, the other 9:15 games to the next field. It was BC Elite over the 410 Ravens. Don't have a score on that one. Please tell me your volume was down the whole time, Eddie. That's funny. BC Elite over the 410 Ravens. Don't have a score there. I didn't see a board for the scores yesterday aside from the tournament board, which maybe I can pull it up. I'm gonna see if I can real quick. If like maybe there's a photo of it somewhere on the pages. I think the 4-state page actually has the bracket. Let me zoom in on it. Let me see. I can see some of it, but I can't make out the scores. Okay, I'll give up on that idea. The other 9 o'clock game was pretty good one. It was Minor Titans in prime time. Titans won that one, 13-12. That game was a slugfest, absolute slugfest. Much better game than day one. Day one, Titans just ran all over them. Day two, prime time, turning around. They looked good. They should have pulled off the upset. They had it in their hands. They had the victory right in their hands. And shout out to prime time. You know, they were a makeshift team. They were put together the week of the tournament, or a week prior to the tournament, something like that. They went out there. They did go 0-3, but they were competitive against Renegades, and they were competitive against the Titans. Big shout out to them. Hope to see more of them in the future. 10 o'clock games. We had Aftermath 21, Reckless Villains 20. Reckless Villains, tough weekend. They had to draw BC Elite and Rampage, and then they had to turn around and play Aftermath the next day. You know, those teams are either A teams or borderline A teams. And for a team with less than 20 and a lot of inexperienced guys, they went out and played well on day two. Chris Boone was a big help. Day one, they struggled a little bit. The defense had a tough time. It's hard to guard. It's hard to go up against TJ Holston and Chris Price, the other TJ and Chris, technically, when it comes to defending them. And the Villains did their best. They were close at day two. They were a point away from victory. But unfortunately for the Reckless Villains, 0-3, but they got some unfinished business elsewhere. They're not going to go away. The other 10:30 game that went on in the opposite field, it was Renegades 24, Titans 13. Another good game between those two. Came down to the wire. Titans had this in their hands. They had the Renegades in the palm of their hands, and they just dropped them. And the Renegades got back up. They fought back to back plays went their way, and in those back to back plays, 2 of them were scores. And at the end of the day, all that matters is the points and a Renegades victory. Excellent job. So they advance to the semis. We go to the opposite field real quick, the 11:45 game. It was Baez Auto over Gusto Land, 14-10. The Battle of York teams, the OG York 9-man team. Baez, who came onto the scene a couple years ago, made a big impact early on in the B bracket, close to winning Ocean City. Had some things go on over the summer. You know, Gusto Land started coming around in the fall. Suddenly, you have 2 York teams playing 9-man. The new face and the old face. They finally got a chance to play against each other in 9-man, and Baez with the come-from-behind victory in that game. Excellent win for Baez Auto. Gusto Land 2-1 on the weekend. Excellent Saturday, but disappointing Sunday. 1 and done. But you get a bad draw, man. Baez Auto. Oh, man. Of all teams to draw. One of those matchups, man. You never know in these tournaments. Like, you may think that high seed is good, but there's always a low seed waiting to knock you off. But you know, Gusto, they're learning. They'll get around. They're gonna do well. Give them time. On the other field, it was Scorpions 25, Rampage 23. What a battle from start to finish. These two teams were just playing at 100% against each other. This was no slouch. This was all their best players. This was a game. This was a classic between those two. Absolute classic at Clash of York between Scorpions and Rampage. Rampage finishing 2-1 on the weekend. Great Saturday. Went out there, they crushed the Villains. They beat BC Elite again. And then on Sunday, one and done. I mean, it's tough, man. That's another thing about getting a high seat. You never know who's waiting below you. Like, it sounds good on paper. Yeah, I got a 3 seed, but who's the 6 seed you're playing? And in the case of Rampage, their first team they drew was the Scorpions. And the Scorps came out. They played hot on offense. Game-winning touchdown in the end. Excellent play. Excellent game. What a game. That was a classic. Over at the Field 1, we had the rematch. Aftermath they had Aftermath beating BC Elite. I skipped ahead. My bad. I forgot I didn't cover that game. Shit happens. Oh well. So Aftermath over BC Elite. I think it was 16-10 was the score of that one. That was a really good one. Really good game between those two. Classic to the very end. Aftermath victorious. Just a really good overall game. BC Elite 1-2 2-2 this weekend, I want to say. Yeah, 2-2 this weekend. They had a good performance again, but tough draw in the quarterfinals of Aftermath. This was some of the best teams in the DFV coming out and PA. Now, there were some teams I would have loved to have seen this weekend, but it was a pretty stiff competition, and BC Elite handled their own. They played well. Once again, though, just can't get the job finished in York. We'll look forward to seeing more of BC Elite in the near future. Over on the opposite field, it was Renegades over the Scorpions, 21-14. What a game. Back and forth to the very end. Scorpions had a 1-point lead. They had the game in the palm of their hands. And then Proc got picked. And the Renegades made the most of it. And they took it in. They scored. They won the game. Renegades advanced to the finals over the Scorpions. World champions go down. The 3-peat was denied. 3 in a row, tournament-wise, for the Scorpions. Didn't happen. Renegades came out with the win. And what a game it was. What a game. Opposite field. The rematch. Aftermath Baez Auto. Here we go. What? We knew it was going to get chippy. We knew it was going to get good. It was a good game. What a game to the very end. Both sides played their ass off back and forth. I think there was some more controversy over the punt rule. Baez thought he could field it and run it in. They thought he had a score, something like that. I think Dallas knows more about it than I do, because I think I saw his post on the 9-man page. But it was a good game. Really good game. A lot of good games this weekend. Baez Auto finishing the weekend. Let's see. I think it was a total of 3-2. 3-2 on the weekend. Started out pretty well. Classic of AFN, but probably should have beaten Aftermath the first time, but it didn't matter the second time. Aftermath beat them, and they got the win, and they headed to the finals. Baez, good weekend though. This was a comeback tournament for Baez Auto. Like, they kind of drifted off a little bit at the end of last October. They went to Worlds, go to the quarters in Worlds, lost to the Nomads. There was some speculation about whether or not Baez was really going to play much. They came back, they played well. The guys are still there. They're not dead. Gusto may be new on the scene, but Baez is still the king of York. And they proved it this weekend. They still got guys who can ball. They're not going to quit. They're not going to go away. Big shout out Baez Auto. You had a good weekend. Just not able to come up with the ship was disappointing, but you know, it's hard. It's a tough tournament. You guys had a tough draw. Championship, Renegades 28, Aftermath 18. This was an absolute game. It was a shootout. It was 21-18 at halftime. That's usually the score of a game at the end of it in flag. It's never usually the halftime score. We went there and a 5-man game suddenly broke out. It was all skill position. It was a great game. It was a battle from start to finish. Hard-fought game. Renegades, they stepped it up on defense in the second half. They gave the donut to Aftermath after halftime. They got the win. Big shout out to Jaleel. He went out there, played his ass off all weekend. He became starting quarterback at the beginning of Corona season. I met him at Nationals actually back in January. He was injured at the time. Good guy overall, hell of a ball player. MVP of the tournament, well deserved. Look forward to seeing what he can do the rest of this circuit year. Because we're still not done yet. There's still a lot more going on. We still got tournaments coming. And let's get over as we finish up. Congratulations, Renegades. Let's go ahead and move on now to the portion of the show where we talk about what's going on this week. So, Tuesday night, Blood Talk returns once more. Another special episode. Back-to-back weeks of Blood Talk? Crazy, man. Crazy. We have the show's back. We're finally getting somewhere. We're finally starting to have some coverage. It's good, man. It's great. I'm loving it. Special edition of Blood Talk starting after 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be talking about Corona Classic 2. If you don't remember, Corona Classic happened a month ago. But now they're actually going to finish the tournament. Going to be a good time. Really looking forward to it. Corona Classic 2. Blood Talk tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Tune in. Wednesday night, we got 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 shows. Beginning, Washington County Flag Football Live, where we're going to recap what happened last week, talk about next week, and make some final predictions as we head to the final week of the 2020 fall season of the Washington County Flag Football League. We're done. This is it. This is the final week of the regular season. Playoffs are about to start. Let's see what happens. Following that will be a special edition of Railroader Report, where we'll talk about the Keystone State Predators game as well as the upcoming matchup Saturday night with the Cecil County Chaos. Final game or final show of the night on Wednesday will be Keystone Corner. We're going to reset the Keystone League, see what's going on, talk about everything that's happened since the last reset, set up the new power rankings, make some predictions. Should be good. Should be great. Looking forward to it. We're going to also edit some film throughout the week. Appreciate you, Jaleel. Big shout out, man. You played your ass off all weekend. I give you a lot of credit. Coming back from injury, taking over as a starting quarterback for the Renegades, you balled out. You came back. You got the job done. First tournament, you won. That's big, man. That's really big. We'll have the film of that sometime in the next couple weeks. I am backlogged and busy as fuck right now with that. Last week we still aren't finished the county or Keystone games from last Saturday. I'm still not done with those yet. I'm gonna get through them. I'm gonna work today and get through them. After that, I'm gonna do the York tournament. We're gonna get that done, and hopefully we can get some of these games out here by probably the end of next week, if not the following week. I know I'm gonna be busy this week. I am not going to announce anything at the moment. My status for this weekend is unknown. I might be in Hagerstown. I might be out of town. I might be in Shippensburg. I might be in Sharpsburg. You never know where I'm going to end up at. That's all I'm going to say. So until then, till tomorrow night when we do a special episode of Blunt Talk for the Corona Classic. I'm Joey Blaze. We'll see you on the football field. We'll be live. Good morning, everybody.